So Corey, I'll just walk you through this second video about the radio itself. It's quite simple once you understand this radio. So on this radio, you can assign any function to any of these switches up here. It's good to have a pattern so that it's unified and everything is set up the same way for every single model. So what I've done is, I don't know if you can see it up here, this particular switch, I always use it for my pump. It's just easy. So all my models, the hydraulic pump will always be on this particular one, and I'll assign pretty much the same channel to this particular switch. The first one, generally I will use this for gearbox or gears. If I have diff locks, I'll then go into the center. If I have tracks, I'll go to the two extreme ones, or I can even use these two up here for tracks. So it's more easier to control the tracks if I have to, just depending upon the model. So let's power the radio up first. Okay, you'll always get this particular screen. Please select RF, that stands for radio frequency on or off. If you don't select, it will just go off anyway. So I'm just going to go through that cycle and select off. So the radio is not searching for a receiver, because that's what it does if you don't select off, on or off. So I'm going to go select off and then hit set. Now, it's always good to be in that position, off position, simply because you're not consuming your battery and the radio is not constantly searching for a receiver. Now, whatever you want is on your right hand side. You must have already seen this page up here. The very first one is actually to select the model you want to play with. So if you hit this, I'm going to scroll up. Let me see if I can get this screen a little bit more closer, so there's no point in showing you something you can't see carefully. So there's a bit of reflection. Hope this is clear for you. You can see there's different models up here. You can select whatever model you want, and then you hit enter, and again it'll ask you on or off, and obviously I'm going to go off, but if you want to play with that model, you select on. So I'm going to go off and hit enter again, or set. So that's what the first one does. The other one is very self-explanatory: copy or erase. Suppress codes, you won't need that. Base model setup is a very important page you will always be going to. If you want to add a new model, you want to rename a new model, just select it, and then you can keep on adding. Now I'll go further down. Stick mode is just basically the setup of joysticks. You don't need to worry about that too much. Now, when you come up here where it says receiver channel map, you will see it says RO8 and RO8. What it means is I have bound a second receiver with 8 channels. I've got two 8 channels bound together. So if you bound 1 6 and 1 8, it'll actually show you RO6 and RO8. Now, how you do that, after you bind the second one, you come to this page, you select, this is how I've selected, you hit this thing, the second receiver must be powered and the second receiver will bind. Now, once it's bound, obviously you will see 2 receivers. Then this step is very important. You must select that and hit enter. Obviously, now we can't go there because it's not selected. But once you go in there, you then have to assign channel number 9 to a switch, and you got to keep going till you go to channel number 16. But if you ever decide to bind 2 receivers, we'll come back to that, and I'll explain to you that later. Servo Adjust. So this is basically doing 2 things. If you need to reverse a particular servo, you need to be on this page. As you can see, I've selected it, and I just go the opposite side. You can probably see the arrow change. So that will basically reverse the direction of the servo if it's not corresponding to the movement of your particular switch or joystick. That's what it does. This is the percentage of how much you want to move. This is more for planes, and this is for the maximum travel up here, so that you are not fully pushing the servo against something. If the servo, let's say my finger is a servo horn. This is the best way to explain this to you. Let's say this is my finger, the servo horn, right? Now, if this is 150%, that means my servo is pushing against this. So let me go one step back. Let's say this is a fixed part and this is not moving. This is solid, okay? Now, if I move 150% of my servo, this is where it's going to go. But because this is solid, my servo is constantly pushing against this thing, which is not bringing me any value, because my servo is pushing this lever because it wants to travel more further. And that is not what I want, because if my servo is constantly pushing against this thing, it's going to burn my motor. So what I need to do is set a percentage and make sure that there is a slight air gap between these two. An air gap could be like 0.0001, as thin as air, so it's not physically touching. So what I do, I may set it to 125%. So instead of pushing it, it actually comes and stops over here, and that is good enough for my servo travel. So that you can adjust over here, and that's what it actually means when I say you don't want to be physically pushing your servo against it, because it's going to bring no value. You want to actually, the servo can travel, the servo can travel all the way, but I don't need it to travel all the way. I just need it to travel up here, and hence you will set it up over there. Okay, let's go back. Go back up here. Control Adjust. This page, you'll see it starts from 5, 6, and it keeps going. So the first 4 obviously are assigned to the joysticks, so you don't really need any of those, or you can assign it if you really want to. But simple thing is, if you wanted a switch, you must select let me just go to another model so I don't disturb my settings. Escape out of this, and then you go model select. Okay, let's go up here, enter, RF off. Okay, hit enter, and you go to Control Adjust. Okay, now in Control Adjust, if you want to assign a particular switch to channel number 5, it's very simple. You see the box is already around it. I'm going to hit enter, and now I'm just going to move the desired proportional channel, and there you see it's actually selected S11. So I'm going to do it again, move, that's S12. So that's how you select any of the channels that you want. You come to this page, you select that particular box, and you hit center. Now, if I wanted to use a switch, right, I put it this way, so I hope you can see everything. If I wanted to use this particular switch, I'm going to jump over to the next column, and then I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to move this switch, and now you can see that it actually is moving. I hope you can see that. Now, this is a 3-position switch. If I want to use all the 3 positions, you got to be very careful and watch this process, how I'm going to do it. Now it's in the neutral, right? So it's in neutral. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to hit set, and I'm going to push it up, right? Then I'm going to stop. I'm going to bring it to the center. Then I'm going to go to the box next to it. I'm going to hit enter again, and I'm going to push it down. Now, then I'm going to bring it back to the center. Now the switch is operational in all 3 positions, and you can actually check this by doing this. So you see it's number 5, okay, and then it goes both ways, and this is neutral, right? So if you want to check any of the servos, to what channel they're connected, you need to go back to the home screen. Okay, want to check what channel they are? Just press this, and this page will come up, and all the radios will generally have this page. And what this page does, it has the channel numbers 1 to 16, and it shows you when you move a particular switch on your radio what it's connected to. Obviously, after 5 we haven't connected anything, so but you can see this is number 3, and this is number 4, and this should be number 5, right? So 2 buttons on this side will bring you the bar graph. So let's go back again. Let's hit set. I'm just seeing if there is any more important ones that will relate to what you need to do, because these are very advanced settings and I don't really want to take you into these particular settings. So free mixers is another one. If you want to mix the sound and stuff, it has to be done in free mixers. I won't go into that because it's a little bit tricky how to do that particular setting. I won't go to dual mixers, channel sequences. Okay, basic settings. This may be important for you. Owner's name. You can actually type your name in there. So if you go to play in the park or with somebody else and they have the same radio, you can identify your radio in there. Servo display is the same thing. What I showed you was a shortcut. You can even go from the menu up there. Pretty much it. So that is the functions on the radio and how to set up the basic stuff on it. Hope it's helpful, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.